Calypso and big man, east, west, north and south. From every part of this island, we make our contribution. Don't leave us out. Remember, we are the ones who make you jump, who make you jump up and dance. We're in the middle of the carnival. We are the ones keep up the bacchanal. We are the ones who make you jump, who make you jump up and dance. Working to make this fun and spring. Greatest summer festivity, and yet we treated calypsonians and bandmen like dirt. All you we weren't.
Good afternoon, ladies, and gentlemen. Welcome to We're the Ones this afternoon. Forgive me if I'm a little excited, a little more than usual. West Indies are bat. I'll look good. Now, I'm going to let y'all know, for a couple of years now, I have not been a Chris Gayle fan because he has not lived up to his name when it comes to West Indies. But so far, he looks like he's doing what he's supposed to do. So, and of course, Cute Face is batting. My captain, Cute Face. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Jason Holder is batting with him. So I'm feeling good because England made 400 and some plenty, and West Indies like they're going to make 400 and plenty plus. So somebody keep me up to date. You know where to find me. Just come on to the link and check this out. But I want to start the program today with a song. There is a young lady, Empress Divine, I don't know how many of you have ever heard of her, who's making some waves that Antiguans, I don't think we've noticed or we're paying attention. So I'm going to play. It's a song out of the norm, I think, for us Antiguans, especially given, we're following other people's season right now. So I'm going to play at least a little bit of it, and then we'll a quick chat. So.
Smoking on the Sensi, a million ways to keep my days into better days. Smoking on the Sensi, a million ways to change my days into better days. Things do change but still remain the same. I'm just trying to clear my head space and fly. There's no need to remind that there's no limit to the sky. There's no limit to the sky.
Yo, soon as my wake, a time for bake my chalice load up now. Aligning up my chakra, make the good vibes flow. I'm on a real rebel youth, so we steaming on a higher level when my prefer keep me high them low. Yet my vision crystal clear like a Sonic. I'm on a real rasta, no we and no phony. Steaming on the trees just to ease my nerves. Meditation is the key, so tell the youth observe.
Smoking on the Sensi, a million ways to change my days into better days. Things do change but still remain the same. I'm just trying to clear my head space and fly. There's no need to remind that there's no limit to the sky. There's no limit to the sky. Reminiscing about how life shifted. Roll one, then take on the city. Me just live my life every day with no pity. So when you see me, just know me got the good vibe generator. Not study no paper, a pagan mental sedation. Physically manifest was station for 1,000 years of existence. But the youth them astray so far from Ethiopia. Don't sight the whole world corrupt. Something to forgive for we overcome. Right, knowledge overturn. Rastafari won all the trials and the tribulation. I just feel like there's something in the air. The energies are shifting and my mission so clear. I'm just smoking on the Sensi, a million ways to change my days into better days. Things do change but still remain the same. I'm just trying to clear my head space and fly. There's no need to remind that there's no limit to the sky. There's no limit to the sky.
I feel like the birds and the best way to do that is to steam the earth. Put your mind at ease, reggae music remerge. We say highly Selassie, I the first. Set the trend Rastafari. Me a defend that the doctrines must fulfill. The system set up with the black dog.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the truth is I was introduced to this song this morning by my son. We were having a conversation about Antiguan music and the popularity of Antiguan music and so on, and he says to me that calypso and soca is not the music that is putting Antigua out there, and I'm like, what are you talking about, kid? We have no other type of music that is that popular, you know. Big up to Logic and crew. And he's like, no, mommy, we have. And he's like, of course, you know, he have to start the enough way. You know, one of his classmates, one of the people he graduated with, she has this song that has 1 million views. I'm like, yeah, sure. And sure enough, there is the song. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is this awesome song that has this tons of views, over 1 million views. And it's been out for a year. I'll admit it's the first time. Mr. Green, who, yes, he's back again. Like 3 weeks now, Mr. Green is with me almost, but it's for a good cause. Mr. Green is telling me, he's saying who the person is, who all in the song, and so on and so on. But he's not a fan of the topic, so I won't put him on the spot too much. Suffice to say that that's Boogie George and Joanne Bird's daughter. And it's a nice groove, and you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, you need to check it out. It's Hempress Divine and Juba. It's Hempress Divine featuring Juba. No, Hempress Divine and Juba, featuring Muscle. Yes, the song is called A Million Ways. It's a 2017 video. It's on YouTube. You check it out. So I just wanted to share that with us so that we know that we have our young people doing various myriad of things. And also I'd like to mention, for those of you who have been following the Talisker Whiskey Challenge, you know, where our 4 girls came in, first female team, to row voluntarily across the Atlantic, that the final team won a solo rower. I think she had a specially fitted leg or something. She came in this morning, so that's the last 70-something plus days. Solo rower, proud of her. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't even have done the 4, never mind the 1. But I think that brings that to an end, and I congratulate her and the entire production team on a very bold and a very successful yet another year. I was hoping to chat with one of them today, but that was not to be. So in studios with me today, first guest is, yes, he says people could think that he owns shares in a Point FM, etc., etc. And I'm going to say this, Mr. PM, he says people could think he can get a piece of real estate for the the cruise port development. So since he already come from down here, not that he, will kiss people don't take it away. As soon as Mr. Green walked through the village, whether small or big, everybody know Mr. Green and everybody want their children to go. Mr. Green, you're not planning to retire from PM soon? Okay, we won't discuss that today. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. My apologies, Colin Green is here with us on the heels of a very successful sports that he doesn't want to talk about today, unless I jog him. But we're having a different topic today, and the Princess Margaret School presents Thank You for the Music. Thank you for the music. That the song I'm singing. May try for audition. Thanks for all the joys. My can work.
You sound like you have the melody.
Okay, cool. So I can sign up. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are with Dr. Colin Green today from Princess Margaret School. He's hopeful that he'll be joined by another member of staff shortly. But in the meantime, we're going to start with him, and we will be discussing Princess Margaret School's production. Thank you for the music. Now, Mr. Green, why? PM is associated with sports mostly, ain't it? As soon as you hear PM, you hear sports. PM sports. Well, and you're now coming to us with a different side of PM.
Well, it's a side that has always been there, ever since I've known it. So people talk a lot about the sports, but if you check the history of Princess Margaret School, even long before me, the performing arts has been a big part, music and performing arts. The Princess Margaret School Serenaders, they are celebrating 45 years this year of existence. I'll tell you how long they've had a big tradition in music, and in that case primarily steel band music. Because when you look at where Princess Margaret School is located, it's in the middle of the Pan Belt. You all around you there's Hell's Gate, there's Harmonize. Geminites
is in the yard.
Based in the yard.
Superstars used to be across the road.
Across the road. So it's right in the middle of the Pan Belt. So it has been, you look from a historical point of view, I don't think that there might be any, I think they might have won more school panoramas than anybody else.
Yeah, since you drew it to my attention, it was 45 years, I started doing some research, some working on it. I'll get back to you.
Yes, they have done very, very well where that is concerned. And that is a part of the tradition that we try to keep alive. I think over the years, many of the schools have had challenges where Pan is concerned with instruments, having their own instruments. The Princess Margaret School has been fortunate because we have had a long-running relationship with Geminites where we were afforded the opportunity to use their pans and their instruments just as much as we wanted to. But one of the goals that the school had was to have its own instruments. And that way you're free to move around, free to travel, free to be able to plan in a way that you were supposed to plan. And so we have been on a mission ever since to get back the full line of instruments for the serenaders. And we have had concerts all the time. We've had concerts from time to time. It's a part of the perform. In December, actually, in PM, that's the Performing Arts Month. That's the month that they really come together.
Inter-house.
Yes. In all the elements in drama, in dance, in instrumental music, and so on. Just you'd have recognized that the last Schools Jammer Festival, Princess Margaret did very, very well as well. So we rounded school in that sense. And we had a conversation, I think, last year with the Prime Minister, and we had indicated to him what of our goals, one of our goals were. And he was very instrumental in assisting us in two areas. One, we have now acquired a full set of pans, instruments, and so the serenaders are back fully equipped.
Nice.
And we also established another band. So we have two bands now, not just the steel band, but
with the band. Yes, that was, I saw them during the launch.
Them and heard them.
And they were very nice.
And you know how good they are.
Yes.
So we have among them some of the finest young musicians around, and we felt that it would be useful to showcase them in this concert. So this concert is the reason why it says thank you. We want to say thanks to all the people who have provided us and assisted us with instruments, and going along the way we're going to develop the musical talents. I mean, we've long held that these skill sets are going to be the skill sets that children are going to use in a meaningful way in the future to make a living. And we begin to see them emerge in that way. And so we are building in that capacity as well. So it's going to be a tremendous concert. The concert is also held under the auspices of the Prime Minister. He's hosting it in a sense that we, and so we're expecting to do great things where that is concerned.
All right. So the concert is to be on the
10th of March.
That's a Sunday.
Yes, a Sunday afternoon. We start at 6 p.m. In the evening. It's going to be at the Dean William Lake Cultural Center. Promises to be an exciting affair.
Is it going to be just the students, or there'll be others besides the students?
Primarily the students. We are also going to feature our partners over the years as well. Geminites. We're supposed to feature Geminites as well.
You know what I'm missing?
If you can, but you'd have to audition because it's a high quality show we're talking about.
I don't think I can.
Yeah, we probably will have along one or two past students as well who we're hoping to also showcase. But primarily the performers, the dancers, the singers, and will be a lot of music. Will primarily all be students at the Princess Margaret School.
Okay. All right. So what's the proceeds of this? Because you said you already have, I know when you do your sports events, it's normally to fund the sporting activities at the school. So is it that we can anticipate that you have your own steel band, you have your own regular band, don't know what to call that, and because no, we say band to distinguish. Is it that we can anticipate that the funds from this, so the funds from this would be used for what?
The funds will go back into school development programs, primarily to help advance the music cause. But I wouldn't say just just the music class, because I don't believe in segregated school. I believe in integrated approach to education.
Okay.
And so I believe all elements come together to form one. But I mean, right now, there's always a need to expand on what you have and to build on what you have. We have a beginners program now where we're trying to recruit new players, because as they graduate, you have to have a succession plan. You have to expand.
You have to go back to winning schools, remember? You have to go back to winning schools.
But it's not just about winning anything anymore, because where the judging of music is subjective, you're gonna always have problems. Once
upon a time when it was still subjective, we were winning.
Yeah.
And we have fallen off the winning track. We need to get back there, Mr. Green.
I don't want to go down the road with you about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been trying to have this conversation with Mr. Green for about 3 years now, and he just keeps telling me, I don't want to go down the road with you.
Because I don't want to go down the road, because I don't think that the development of the music is just about winning. I think the bigger picture has to be about the development of the music and the musicians. And we will compete every year.
Of course.
And we will put forward our best foot. Win, lose, or draw. We have won plenty times.
I know, and it's been a couple of years. We're supposed to be up there every so often.
The alumni of Princess Margaret talks that way.
We have very high expectations, Mr. Green.
And so do everybody else who is at Princess Margaret School. But there's a bigger picture, and that bigger picture is the development of the skill sets that are necessary to carry the music to another level. And I was hoping to have my colleague here who can speak to the music, because I'm not a musician by trade, but I do know good music when I hear it. And what we have is a combination of people who are working along the students. Some of them are paid music teachers. For instance, the serenaders are mainly under the charge of Miss Anthony Thompson Cordis. Mm-hmm. She's really the head of the
French
She's language. The head of the modern language department. But she's the one who
she doesn't teach music in school?
No, she doesn't formally teach music. She's a French teacher. Mm-hmm. But school, as I said to you, the contribution is wider than that. And what I'm impressed with, she works along there, and then there's Patrick Stone Johnson, who's the musical director from the Ministry of Culture, and then our music teacher, the acting head of the music teacher, Mr. King, who just joined us in September. He's from the area as well.
Family.
Yes, so he has joined
another Zakari production.
Yes. So he has joined us as well. So there's a whole family of people working together with the music program, and we're beginning to see fruits. We're also looking to structure the organizational so that the students also get an opportunity to in different leadership positions. So, for instance, the Serenaders has its own executive and leadership structure, as its president, its vice president.
From the school body?
From the PAN body. From
the school.
Yes, the students. All the students lead.
Okay.
So there's a president, there's a general secretary, there is a treasurer, that sort of thing. They raise their own funds, they have a little thing, and when they perform, they would be able to contribute to their uniform, their outfit, and so on. And they're the ones who speak to that, generally speaking. I believe, probably, hopefully, you get an opportunity to speak to that leadership core sometime soon. So it's a dynamic process that we're working at. It's not just a one-off thing. We're hoping that we continue to build on this foundation as we go forward.
I know that the Prime Minister and the patron for the event has been stressing in recent times that creative arts is one of the pillars of his vision moving Antigua forward. So I think it's good to know. I think other schools are also practicing this. I don't know to what extent, but I'm curious to know because I remember last week when I spoke to some of the students, a lot of your athletes were also among your best academic students. How does that play out in terms of your creative arts?
Well, you'll have the same. And I hope we could organize for you to get an opportunity to speak to them. I was trying to encourage somebody in full mode practice now. They learn, so that's why.
Thank you for this time.
Yes. So we'll find a time. For instance, the student of the year, for every year that he has been at Princess Margaret School, he's now in 4th, so that means he would have been student of the year, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Maintains an academic average of somewhere around 95. Just kind of mad crazy. He plays every instrument in both bands. So he plays drums, he plays guitar, he plays bass, he plays keyboards, he plays every single pan that is there, and still maintains an academic average in the 90s.
Does he do music?
Yes.
Does Princess Margaret offer music theory?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, offered right up to the CXE level.
My son.
So
My son, yeah.
yes, they right up to the CXE level. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a combination. There's a music department.
Yeah.
So every child that comes to Princess Margaret is exposed to music. Whether they take it, what level they take it to, is up to them once they get to the point where they have the options, selections going forward.
And that is the same for the theater arts as well.
The theater arts is taken up at third form.
Oh,
the,
okay.
The formal teaching of theater arts. Sometimes we misunderstand what happens. Not every child who's an actor is a theater arts student.
Understood. I agree
But
with that.
they're involved in the activities of theater arts. So some of those students that you see performing, there's always an opportunity to perform. There's always something going on for them to perform. And we formalize that. You also know that Princess Margaret School is the first school that introduced the theater arts program
Yes,
in Antigua
yes.
and Barbuda. So there's a lot of good things that started down this side. And we like to repeat it because a lot of people behave as if a lot of things started with them. And I think I want to say that because
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm not trying to say anything. I just said what I wanted to say. That the program
Come and check
began
me, please, Doctor.
right there. And even in the initial stages, when we didn't get support from central government, the school used its own resources to purchase books and so on.
But,
and from that generation...
Well, slow down. Let's back up a bit. I'm trying to understand. You're telling me that the school was able to offer a subject that was not supported by the Ministry of Education.
It wasn't originally.
Okay.
So there wasn't any infrastructure within the Ministry of
And
Education.
you're still teaching there?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I like that. So the bottom line is, we working along with individuals. I think with the theater arts program, that you had Mr. Jackson,
Wayne Jackson.
who was actually there with us, and then he left, went to culture, and I was able to encourage him to come back, which he did, and eventually
He came back in the capacity as assisting you with the program, but he was still at
taught
culture.
at the school, but he wasn't assigned to the Ministry of Education. He was the drama
Coordinator for culture. Right.
So we're trying to get the theater to another level, to have it, have the students sit the exam as CXC students. That originally wasn't a subject offered by the ministry, and so the texts and so on were not available to the Board of Education. So the school purchased the text. We went to Jamaica, buy them, brought them back here, with the hope that some of these students would then emerge into the program as teachers, as performers, and that's exactly what happened. So now our theater arts teacher is a graduate of the Princess Margaret program.
Yes.
And he's doing absolute wonders.
So you're saying
There
Malik was among those students who were exposed to
Yes.
theater
The
arts
theater
at
arts
Princess
team
Margaret
got-
School
got
even
a-
before the
got a
ministry
one.
caught the vision.
Got a 1.
Okay.
And there were several others at one time. The National Drama Group had a lot of the students who came through that program at Princess Margaret School. And so sometimes we kind of think it's important to remind people, because now
It's mainstream.
It's mainstream
Yes.
now, accepted, and everybody is stepping on it. So we just kind of like to remind people that we belong, because we had a vision, and we're happy that it has gone mainstream.
It's
We're
the most
absolutely-
delicate drop word I've ever heard. Mr.
Absolutely
Green.
delighted that it has gone mainstream, and many people want to coordinate it and so on. Now, and many people want to see the vision that's there. We're happy. We're delighted that has happened. But we just want to remind them that where we started and the people who started it at the table. But we're not. We are just pleased with the performances, because we have seen a long time ago that the traditional vision of education, that the grammarian education that people had, was long outdated, and so therefore
individuals have to be marketable. And one of the fundamental things that not everybody in this country need to be an employee. Some of them have to be employers and create and generate revenue for themselves. So the common talk in education now about broad-based skill sets, we had that vision a long time ago, and that is what we're celebrating. We have also held that the skill sets must be marketable, and so it must have an entertainment value to it. And so anytime we're in the house, the entertainment value is going to be at its highest level. And on the 10th of March, that's exactly what is going to happen.
Just remind us when, the 10th of March, the time.
The 10th of March in William Lake Center at 6 p.m. The tickets go on sale as of tomorrow at the Princess Margaret School. The adult tickets are $35, which we find is going to be real cheap. And the children tickets are $15.
Now, Mr. Green has put me on the spot, so I ain't taking this hit for myself alone. Mr. Green wants some of us, especially the alumni, to get on board and support this initiative by purchasing bulk tickets that can then be redistributed, because he doesn't have any space for any complimentary tickets or for persons to sit for free. Am I correct, Mr. Green?
No, because this concert is costing us money.
Okay. So, Princess Margaret alumni, if you are able to, and to the business, corporate and tea in general, but I think I'm saying alumni because Princess Margaret has put out a lot of us. Get on board. It could be 5 tickets, it could be 10 tickets that can then be redistributed to young people and even to adults who may not be in a position to pay for those tickets at the time. So just see Mr. Green, we can check your office.
Anytime you can check Mrs. Nathaniel, Mrs. Cordis, the secretarial staff. And we're encouraging also people to just come to the show.
Yes.
Even if you can buy 1 ticket
and come.
And just come to the show and celebrate our children. And in positive ways, you will not be disappointed.
I want to appeal to the parents of the children in particular. My view is Princess Margaret has how many students?
We have 1,000 children.
And Dean William Lake can only hold 465 people.
So we shouldn't have a difficulty. We should not have a difficulty.
We shouldn't, but sometimes. So parents, take the lead, buy up those tickets and go out and celebrate our young people doing great things in the theater arts. Thank you for the music by Princess Margaret School. Another production of Mr. Green. Mr. Green, when you retire?
It's not a production of Mr. Green. It's a production of the Princess Margaret School.
Another production of Mr. Green and the Princess Margaret School. I don't, even if I say it's a production of Princess Margaret School, everybody at Princess Margaret School know how we go. Mr. Green's up.
I don't think so.
Listen here, I was, to wrap up as I let you go, and thank you for joining me. I was at sports day last week. And if the child run fast, Mr. Green something. If the child runs slow, Mr. Green will do wrong. If the child stand up, Mr. Green fast. Mr. Green, you were, everything was yours. So I'm just joining the bandwagon. But I want to, of course, I can't let you leave without saying thank you for the vision. Because like you said, the theater arts program started at Princess Margaret School. And we know the tradition of music at Princess Margaret School. Just the other day from my class, we were remembering Miss Davis, fondly our choir teacher. Used to do some things. But yes.
There are lots of educators that have come through our system that have been very visionary. In fact, I believe if we had stuck to some of those visions that was put forward by some of those educators who went before us, we might have been better off. I remember when I was appointed to be the principal of Princess Margaret, one of the first things that you want to do as a intending principal is to understand the culture of the place that you're going to go. What was the vision behind the institution? What is it that they expected from it? And one of the things that I'd done, I got some printouts from the archives then, from the thought process of P.W. Gordon, who was one of the early persons who visualized him. And he had given a speech as to what Princess Margaret School was supposed to do.
You went and did research, Mr. Green?
And I just think the man was visionary.
Who does that?
So if you're going to understand the culture of the place and respect the traditions of a place, then you have to do that. It's not your place. We are working into a culture, and you have to fit into that culture and see how you can build on it. Okay. So he was saying early that the school was not supposed to be another grammar school, and that's almost quoting him. It wasn't supposed to be another TOR. It was not supposed to be another Antigua Girls High School. He had a vision of a complete what we would call a comprehensive school, where the traditional academic subjects were being offered, but alongside it, you would have the skills available, the skills available. I heard Antoine, the governor of the central bank, speaking the other day.
Let's not discuss that because that is annoying to my
And
spirit.
people were pushing the clip all over Facebook. But that idea was not
It's not new.
It's the same kind of thing that Gordon was speaking about. And if you look at what has happened, most of our secondary schools have actually emerged and into they're all comprehensive schools. That is the structure that is there now. That's not my structure. That was a vision he had. I just thought that he made sense. If you understand, and that's the kind of the tradition that we are.
And that's what Benji did.
We're
Sorry,
aiming
hi, Mr. Benjamin.
to continue to build on. It's not rocket science. It's something that just simply makes sense. You have to find a niche for every child, and whether that niche is in music, whether that niche is in dance, whether that niche is in agriculture, whether that niche is in the industrial arts, whether it's the person is going to be a dancer, going to be a comedian, all of it within a particular line. And you can see all of that emerge in a school. And I guess now that I'm getting older, looking to retire, I look back at the efforts that we have made to try to keep that tradition of Princess Margaret, sometimes under trying circumstances, because there were some people who were allowed to lead education who didn't understand what education was about. And so
Boy,
I am grateful.
in your old age, you're dropping words so
I'm not
politely.
dropping. I'm
What?
very, very grateful to the students who I have come in contact with, because many of them have kept that vision alive. And I've been fortunate to have young people, young teachers work around me and alongside me who are just absolutely brilliant and understand that vision. So when I come and I talk about people like Mrs. Cordis, people like Robin Nathaniel, people like Mrs. Bartley, the core group of people, the musicians who understand that vision, who understand that the time after school is perhaps the most enjoyable time of school. So if you go to PM now, there's band playing, people singing, people dancing, but the public never see that.
So what time school finish?
Officially,
No, what time PM finishes?
when we're done, we're done.
Okay.
So if
And the children are in a safe environment, which is important.
Yes, and they're playing music, the grades are high, they come tell me what their midterm grades are before me cut off somebody's head. They have to take the report card to the band coordinator, and it's simple. That's what John Dewey tell people a long time ago. Where you see people have a way of forgetting and understanding what education is about. They say school as a place that fixes problems. No, we're not a mechanic shop. It's not. People have to hold on the responsibility. So I want to take this opportunity again to invite every parent who we probably won't be able to accommodate, but first come, first serve. But that is the lacking element.
Hold my seat. I mean, I'm parent in the official sense, but you know I have plenty children up by you, so I come in for them.
We want to give them first option, but if the invitation goes to them and we don't get it, we have to take them by the wayside and the by side, and who all want come. Even if I have to personally try and sell every ticket
and
let people come
we know
and
you
see
will.
the talent that's available in our young people and the potential. I'll give you one story before I leave. The song that you were just listening to, yeah,
By Miss George.
Yes. Two of those youngsters went to Princess Margaret School, and they used to come to my office. They used to get sent to the office a lot, all the time. Every minute, the teachers send them up. And
For
they
what?
would wonder what I was doing with them inside my office. We just spend a lot of time in there. They come up for 5 minutes, and they're in there for an hour with me at a time. So then the teacher get upset, why keep them there long? I said, nothing wrong with them except they're talented.
In a different way.
No, they're talented. They weren't talented no different way.
No, I mean, they were coming here because they weren't paying attention to the classwork.
Well, maybe the class at the time was boring. And so they had to make it creative.
More interesting.
So more interesting. So I had formed them into a little performing group called Juba Juba.
I remember Juba Juba.
And they used to disturb Priam every time. Great performers. They're still into the performing arts. Every now and then they come back and check us. Last year, Juba was one of the feature presenters at our launch. So they make their way. And we can't be judgmental.
That song has over 1 million views. I'm still impressed.
Listen, an interaction between one of my students and myself in the square at school, right? The same one that you saw, they're hosting
Problem
the
Child.
launch.
He was a riot. Yes.
Well, the band was jamming in the schoolyard in the afternoon. So sometimes we give a little chance to do a little jam after lunch, do a little thing, and the kids would come. But he didn't see me. So he was singing some song. Up to this day, I didn't know what he was singing. But when he turned around, he assumed that what he was about to sing wasn't appropriate. So as the principal, he saw the principal, he started singing a gospel. Somebody sent it to me. At that time, it had over 12,000 views.
On YouTube?
On Facebook.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't even know that the picture was taken. I saw myself standing there with a bullhorn in my hand. I didn't know what he was saying before until I went back and actually looked at it. But there are people who found it funny. And if you see him, when you saw him,
Yes.
I know you found him funny.
Yes, he was a rat.
He's just so what place are we going to find for people like that? So
Boy,
everybody
he needs to become an MC, a paid
everybody.
MC.
And he's probably better than a lot of the MCs because a lot of the MCs are only not funny. But the point is, he was funny and he went along a storyline. He started that storyline that his girl left him at.
Oh, I'm telling you, he was a rat.
At Valentine, but as long as PM has sports day, he don't care.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
can leave him anytime. And he followed that line right through.
Through
So what
it.
we're saying, there are varied amounts of talents among children. And we want to
So wait,
celebrate
nobody,
them.
he didn't, that wasn't pre-planned with y'all, like his script that he was going to
Joe,
do?
the script says that. You know, see him, Joe, the script, he had not good. But he can sing, he can act, he can dance. He has all the elements of a performer. And how he uses that, it's up to him. You can't be judgmental. But there's tremendous amount of ability. And that is going to be on display on the 10th of March. And we're inviting...
He's going to be hosting?
No, he's not hosting.
Shoot.
We are going to use dramatic monologue as they introduce as
okay.
art. We know we don't do MCs. We don't do head tables. And
You don't
so
do
on.
normal things.
No,
I
you have
know.
to come and these children become the focus. And I
But he's a student.
I believe the other students will be on play. I don't know what they're going to do. But what I'll say to you is that it's going to be different. And we want to invite first up the Princess Margaret School family, past and present,
Just save
to
my
be
seat.
a part of that
Just save
situation.
my seat. That's what I'm telling you. One last question. We're out of time, but I have to ask you this. So when you leave Princess Margaret School, where do you? You're going to retire, or you're going to go into some other type of youth work?
I don't know. What you call youth work?
I don't know. Go be commissioner of sports.
Well, listen, one. I don't have any. Don't
Go
have any
for
such plans.
your
One of the things you have to understand about me.
I'm just asking.
No, I don't think anybody will employ me in those capacity. I have never been a fan of senior administration, you know.
We know.
Or the senior education has never.
I've never been a fan of yours.
a fan of mine. So I have no illusions.
So you don't plan to go into the ministry?
Well, I could plan
Most
out-
principals like leave them,
Into
leave.
which ministry?
Most principals, Mr. Green,
The Ministry
listen,
of Education, you mean?
Mr. Green. Most principals leave being a principal and go to be a senior officer in a Ministry of Education. You wouldn't consider that?
Put it this way, they wouldn't consider me. So I like a lot of people.
Mr. Green, have a good afternoon.
But that's the truth. They wouldn't consider me. And
You might be surprised.
I'm not interested at this moment.
See, no, that's a different. Why
Well,
not?
it's a different thing. There
Why
probably
not?
might have been a time when I would have considered no, but I've never been seen as being mainstream. So I am okay with that. When I retire, I retire. What I do after that, I probably go back to what I want to do first. I'll go back to fishing. Hope I get enough money to buy me a new boat. And the next time I see you, you see me, my head will be red like yours. Might be able to offer you 2 pounds of fish. That sort of things. And I have a son who plans to be a farmer. So I believe fish.
So you have a sprinter, a chef. She's going to stick with that chef thing?
And she's stuck with that because
Okay.
she's talented.
And agriculturalist.
And the
You
father
can retire, man. It's all right.
the
You can
father-
retire. You can retire. It's all right. You can
Father
retire.
can go be a fisherman.
You can retire. So, Mr. Green, I want to thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Princess Margaret School, you know, they have a favorite place in my heart. So, yes, we're going to overdo. They will be having Thank You for the Music on Sunday, March the 10th. It starts at 6 p.m. at the Dean William Lake Cultural Center. Admission, $35 for adults. And if you have a child, they get in on $15, but still pay the $35 because it's for a good cause. That works?
Yes, and the tickets are available right now as of tomorrow from the Princess Margaret School. And if there's any alumni who wants to be extra generous to make a contribution, we'll be more than delighted to.
Buy them fast before me have to help sell them, Jack. Buy them fast, because if you don't buy them fast, you can come, Petra. You have to help me sell them tickets. Please, buy them up, ladies and gentlemen, buy them up.
Again, I want to thank you for having us.
No problem.
Again, and for the station having us, because we're on this drive to make sure that it's a success and that the students have an audience to perform. And I'll tell you what, you're going to just absolutely enjoy them. They're that good.
I promise to come with an open mind and not my PM mind. Because, my PM mind, I take them good from the start. But I'll come.
You know they're good.
Anyways, thank you very much, Mr. Green. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're speaking with Dr. Colin Green very briefly about... Thank you, Mr. Green. Right there. Yeah, talking to Dr. Colin Green from the principal of the Princess Margaret School, the best school in the universe. And we were did I say that on air? I'm so sorry. Did I sound biased? Yes, it is a fact. We were discussing the Thank You for the Music event that the school will be hosting, and the fact that just getting an overview as to how the music program and the theater arts program goes in the school. And as you heard him say, which is something that has been on discussion forever, that the school has basically an after-school program. Well, I should call it, my favorite word, a co-curricular program, where they do the arts and they do everything else after the regular school hours. Just as we transition to our next guests, notice the Ebenezer Methodist Church will host a car, boot, and flea market sale on Saturday, 9th March 2019 on the grounds from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. On sale will be a variety of new and used items, plants, books, fruits, and vegetables from the backyard garden, bottled jams and jellies. Any vendor interested in selling, you are invited to attend. Registration is $30 for a car boot, or if you don't have a car, you may take a tent with tables. That's also $30. And the forms are available from the Methodist Bookshop, the church office, or for members of the fundraising committee. Breakfast and lunch will also be on sale. And of course, the proceeds are in aid of the Methodist Church Restoration Fund. And also another one, the Kiwanis Club of St. John's Antigua will be hosting a soca, barbecue, and fish fry on March the 8th. At Melbourne House, that's just diagonally across from the Antigua Recreation Grounds, from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. And the proceeds are in aid of club projects. That's the Kiwanis Club project. I don't see the cost of the ticket. Oh yes, the tickets. Fish $20. Pork and chicken, and Kiwanis is famous for their pork. It's $15 each. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now we transition. We're still talking youth. It was not planned to be like this, but somehow the program always works so that you get on topic. And with me in the studios now, we have Mr. Daryl George. Daryl, you're the youth liaison. You will introduce yourself properly. Okay, sorry, there's something missing here. Sorry, go again?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. So...
This is what happened when I attempt to be technician. Thank you, Jupiter. Yes.
So I'm the youth officer responsible for marketing and media within the Department of Youth Affairs.
And along with Daryl George, we have Pastor Stephen Samuels. Pastor Samuels, introduce yourself, please.
Stephen Samuels, of course, program officer in Department of Youth Affairs.
Today we're going to be taking some time to look at the work of the Department of Youth Affairs.
Yes.
The department does quite a number of things, and I don't think that many persons are fully aware and up to speed in terms of the good work that is done at the department, 1 and 2, so that there are other young people who may wish to be a part of these initiatives, or parents looking for activities for their young people, that there are opportunities to get involved and engage with the Youth Affairs Department. So, Daryl, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just going to give a brief overview of the Department of Youth Affairs, or DYA. Basically, what we do, who we are. We are the government agency tasked with responsibility for youth development in Antigua and Barbuda. And basically, this means that we facilitate what is called positive youth development. So our aim is not to fix young people. Our aim isn't to fix problem people or problem children. Our aim is to develop programs and activities that can allow young people to reach their full potential.
Okay.
So...
Why did you say not to fix, though? Is it that people expect you to fix things?
2 reasons. 1, people tend to be attracted more, or the news gets out more about bad than the good.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the issues is that when people think about young people and programs for young people, it always tends to be in the thought process of creating young people to make sure that they don't engage in crime or antisocial activities.
Okay.
Young people are so much more than potential, criminals. Young people are vibrant. They have a lot of talents and activities, abilities, and our aim is to make sure that these young people can reach their full potential. So they're not problems, to be solved. They're assets to be developed. And that is the positive youth development model.
Okay, excellent.
In addition, those young people who do have some sort of issue, there are other departments that may intervene in that. For example, Family and Social Services, Youth Intervention Unit. So the Department of Youth Affairs focuses on developing, molding, and improving young people on a whole in Antigua and Barbuda.
Excellent. So with that general broad framework, then, what are some of the initiatives that the department undertakes?
Sure. I really would like to start off with our youth leadership program, and Mr. Samuels, who has been doing a great job at spearheading this program for a number of years, is going to tell you, because this is his baby and he is responsible for it. So
give me 30 seconds. We'll get right back to this. This
Sure.
is a little snippet for our audience. Westerners are 301 for 6. We need 118 runs off 85 balls. And Captain could face out. Jason, hold out. No, it looks like Captain Holder is still captain. Okay, sorry. No, he's not the captain for that team, but he's my captain. Sorry. Yes, Pastor Samuels. You know when West Indies is playing, we have to check in every once in a while. So that was a quick check in. So yes, tell us about the youth leadership program.
This program is a dynamic program. Young people look forward for this program each year.
Okay.
And just allow me to say, we started this program in 2006. And so far, I think we have delivered this program to approximately 400 to 500 young people, youth leaders,
Nice.
community overall, it's a total. Well, this time around, we're looking at this program to be implemented on the 18th of March to the 17th of May. All right, and so we want the young people who are involved in leadership position in their various organizations to get ready. And registration commences.
it's ongoing. It's commenced.
Right, and we're going to go all the way down to the 12th of March in terms of registration. All right, but the program really assist young people, these youth leaders, with leadership capabilities. It enhances their leadership capacity, and that is what we tend to do. And over the years, we have had a success rate in terms of young people who would have participated in this program. You find the confidence level increases. You find that they get involved in leadership positions in various organizations, and they go from strength to strength. And so it is there's a lot to benefit from in terms of this program. Now I will just go through the nature of it in terms
Yes,
of,
because I was just about to ask you.
right,
Yes.
in terms of the areas that we cover in terms of this program. Usually it's 8 to 10 weeks, but we're looking to increase that because we're also moving towards accreditation. We're in communication now with the accreditation board as far as this program is concerned. But some of the topics we cover includes we looked at program planning, transformational leadership. Of course, if they're going to be effective, they must know how to budget, they must know about financial planning and reporting and so forth. Business meeting, how do you conduct a business meeting? And we have chosen some excellent facilitators, excellent presenters to deliver this program, very competent individuals. And we looked at quality, in terms of what we offer with it, as far as this program is concerned. And so I will just hold a little bit there and allow my colleague to.
No, I have a question for you before you go on. These various cohorts that you just mentioned, do you have different persons delivering each one, or all of it is coordinated by staff within the department?
Very good question. We have a mixture of staff as well as experts, professionals.
All right.
So
they get the benefit of a wide.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, you want to explain another program?
No, I just wanted to also mention this year, as Mr. Samuels had mentioned, it's been a very important program. And this year we have an added component or an added area that we're looking to branch into, which is the development of these youth leaders to form one of the first Youth Workers Association.
Youth who?
Youth Workers Association.
Youth what?
Workers.
That's right. Youth Workers
clearly,
Association.
Clearly you're going to explain what
Youth
that is.
Development Workers Association, yes.
So the Youth Workers Association is something that is being worked on within the Department of Youth Affairs. And we are looking at taking youth leaders in various areas and creating an association. This association will help persons who work in youth work with things like certification and accreditation, assist them with access to resources, and also form basically a pool of talent in terms of if other youth-related organizations want to work with anyone in our Youth Workers Association. It also provides some verified accredited persons. This is great because now you know that there are certain standards that these youth workers have been able to meet.
Okay.
Something as simple as mandatory background checks. Not just a criminal record, but a background check, which is a bit different and more in detail. Those type of things don't always happen, and we know that our young people are extremely important resources that must be protected. And forming a Youth Workers Association.
So the background check will be for the members of the Youth Workers Association or for the persons who interact with the Youth Workers Association?
No, this would be for the persons who are part of the Youth Workers Association.
Okay, so I'm 18 years old and I'm a part of this association. There'll be a full background check on me before I can become a member.
One of the things is that there's going to be certification. So as Mr. Samuel said, we are looking for creating certification for this specific course. So after you would have, completed this course, done some training, and you want to join the association, then that would be an option as well.
Okay.
So we're still working out the exact details, but this cohort will basically form a platform for that Youth Workers Association.
The association, it's relevant and significant because when you look at the whole need for these youth development workers to advocate for young people here in Antigua Barbuda and the region and the whole, it's very important because young people doesn't exist in isolation and there's so much issues involved, and often they need that support, that voice, so they can interact and get the support they need for youth development.
Okay. All right, Troy. I don't even know Troy. Sorry, Daryl. Carry on. Troy does send me a message. That's why.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. No problem.
Sorry about that. Go ahead,
Daryl. So this is one of the activities that we have coming up. And again, in addition to forming the base for Youth Workers Association, as Mr. Samuels would have alluded to, it would also improve youth organizations' ability to function, improve their sustainability and improve the chances of sustainability. Because what we have a lot of the times is people coming into new positions and they don't really understand the role of what it means to be a youth leader. And so as a result, the entire organization suffers when a lot of the experienced people, again, you age out of being youth. So when a lot of those experienced older youth leave, it can leave a vacuum. So one of the things that we really want to do is to make sure that youth organizations, they have that base of young persons especially who would have the skills, abilities, and talents developed to be able to successfully come in and lead those youth organizations.
That's excellent. Okay.
As you just said that, I remember when we had our prize giving ceremony. At that time he was the president, I think, from the Red Cross, and he came. He shook my hands and greeted other members of the Department of Youth Affairs, colleague, the staff of Youth Affairs, and he said, "Thank you for that program, because the result of this program was able to move up the ranks and able to function." And parents will call back and say, "Notice a difference in my son, my daughter, the confidence, and it really created that element and gave that drive and support and passion, in terms of the leadership." Because when you look at they will interact on topics such as communication, transformational leadership, what is being a leader is all about, how you function, and real time for exchanging ideas and share their views and express themselves and grapple with issues and have informed decisions and so forth and know what to do.
So, Daryl, this Youth Workers Association that was mentioned,
Yes.
will it be under the ambit of the Department of Youth, or it is designed to be set up and then function external to the department?
It's gonna definitely in the initial stages need a lot of support from the Department of Youth Affairs. It's still work in formulation, so I can't say specifically exactly what is gonna happen.
Okay.
But that is, for the first couple of years, definitely it will be leaning heavily on the Department of Youth Affairs. But I do believe, and I hope eventually, that it will be an association that can function more or less on its own.
Okay, excellent. All right. Do we want to move on to anything else before I start asking about the ones that I know?
Sure. I can also mention we have completed nominations for National Youth Awards. We have selected those persons.
The shortlist?
Yes.
Okay.
And those are in the process of being contacted right now. And we are looking at a date of the 4th of April to host our National Youth Awards. So we are working just basically on getting a lot of the profiles in, and there's still one or two people who have to be contacted, but most of the information, most of the contact information, most of the profiles have already been sent in.
What's the significance of the National Youth Awards? Why do we continue to have the National Youth Awards year on year?
Sure. So there are two main reasons for the National Youth Awards. One, to recognize, celebrate, and reward those young persons who have done exceptionally well in the relevant fields. And two, to provide young, positive role models for other young persons to show that it is something that can be done.
Okay.
And at the inception, when we were looking at this program, we realized that there was a need, because lots of young people are doing well in their various fields, right? And they weren't being recognized, and we felt that it was important to do so. And in the motivation theory, reward is very big, even just to say thank you, when a boss tells a worker, employee, thank you, and it's done in the right spirit. I mean, that can even go a long way. And also the Youth Awards is just like rewarding them in that sense, to celebrate their achievements, and it adds value, and it also encourages other young people to achieve when they would have seen other persons that have been acknowledged.
So in terms of the process for the Youth Awards, who makes the final decision in terms of who? I know everybody nominates, but then what is the process that goes on inside the department to determine who wins?
Sure. So there are a couple of two main important ways of selection. One, we have particular nominations that would have come from specific agencies or associations. For example, the Department of Sports, they would have selected their
Sportsman and Woman of the Year.
young
Youth,
sport. Yes. So Those are pretty much automatic.
Okay.
We also have a group of stakeholders, including persons from the Department of Youth Affairs, youth ambassadors, and other important stakeholders who would have come together so that we could have a look at all of the nominations and give our input and come to a decision as to
Who would top that?
who would basically top that list using the information and the nominations that have come in.
Okay. All right.
So that's the process that we have that is working for us so far.
All right. Have you noticed anything in particular? Like, for example, you've been around a couple of years now with the Youth Awards happening.
10 years.
Perfect. So, looking back 7 years, looking back to the winners then, and now looking as to where they are today, have they been able to maintain that standard of excellence that would have been set as either nominees or winners of Youth Awards?
Let me go. Well, I can, right off the top of my head, I remember a common entrance, person who came first in the common entrance, came back, he got the number one spot in CXC, you know? And I remember he was an athlete, and he went on to do greater things. And even a footballer, and he went on to play, he became a professional football player. And so you've been able to track the achievements and the improvements and advancements of some of these persons who have been awarded. Hello, Darrell, too.
Sure. And there are quite a few persons who would have won an award, and they're so versatile that they may have won another award in a different area. But because our young people in Antigua and Barbuda are so exceptional, that is possible. So yes, there are quite a few who would have done well in a particular area, gone on to excel in that area, or even gone on to excel in another area.
Okay, cool. All right. Any other area, I had a question. You mentioned when you were speaking of how the process for the selection of the winners of that. You mentioned the youth ambassadors. The youth ambassadors fall under the Ministry of Youth or Education?
They fall under the Department of Youth, yes.
Okay, how are they selected?
So there's a nomination, there's an application process that is mainly done between the director and the Miss Ellis, who is the mobilization officer. I know she had some input in that. But when we have either of them on, they might be able to better tell you exactly how that process works.
Okay,
but there's an application process. Send in your information, and a nomination, a decision is made from there.
And what do they do, the youth ambassadors?
So they advocate for young persons in Antigua and Barbuda, and they also represent Antigua and Barbuda in various activities, events, and they are our link between youth, because youth ambassadors are really supposed to be members of youth groups, as well as they also plan activities that can also assist in terms of youth development in Antigua and Barbuda.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I'll leave you to go on to the next area that you want to touch on.
I know I have an extra colleague here now, but before we hit him, that's between you and him. That's between you and him. I'm not getting in that business. But before we hit there, I just wanted to also mention we are also having some literacy. We also have our youth literacy program. That takes place at Tien Kernan, and that has been happening for several months.
What's the attendance been like?
I think there are roughly about 20 young persons who regularly attend. I haven't been there every
I just
session.
went on average.
So I would say that's about the average.
And what has the feedback been? Because the reason why I'm interested in this area, oftentimes we have many young people who go through school but didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious as to those who come back for that opportunity for this literacy program.
So to get to where we are now, I have to go back a little bit.
Right.
Mrs. Betty Ann Bloodman, she has been, who is another youth officer, she has been running summer sessions for literacy for the past couple of years. Excuse me.
Oh dear.
So what we realize is that a 1 month session in terms of literacy is just not enough. There are a lot of young persons who, I don't want to blame any particular system, but with the introduction of universal secondary education, there is a need for students to progress through the system. And not all the time these students have been able to develop their literacy skills to the point where it needs to be. So what we have done is after we had a session last year, we got together with our stakeholders and we decided that we're going to turn this into a year-long session. So the students who would have gone through that summer session, they all receive very in-depth assessments. There's a specific assessment tool that is used, and based on that, they receive individual support and assistance throughout the year.
What age group does that program target?
So we have two sort of separate age groups. One primary, and that is from about grade 4 to 6. One secondary, and that's usually for forms 3 to 5.
So if I'm listening as a parent and I want to get my child in this program, is it possible to get into the program now?
I believe that there might be a possibility of doing so. We are trying to really focus on the group that we already have, but we're not, going to
Exclude.
turn away anyone who is in dire need.
The arms are always wide open.
Right. So if there's any parent who's looking for that assistance, I would encourage them to give us a call.
The number?
462-6781. You can also email us at youthAffairs@ab.gov.ag. And you can also shoot us a message on our Facebook page, the Antigua and Barbuda Department of Youth Affairs.
All right. So that's if persons want to come and join the literacy program. And is there a fee?
What's that?
No.
Is there a cost?
You're supposed to know us better than that.
No, persons. Let me
don't deal with costs.
Let me explain.
So
Persons would ask, and so I need to ask that persons are fully
cost.
aware of what the status is.
we are FREE.
I
free.
don't like to say that. We are. You need to be dedicated, show up regularly. That's the cost.
Right.
I prefer it that way because
Right.
when people hear things are
That's
free,
that's
they
an
have
investment.
they
Yes,
have a way
they're investment.
of not
Cannabis.
right. So, okay.
And it's the same for the youth leadership program as well.
And remember to call the office. Let me go again. 462-6781 for registration for the youth leadership. It starts on the 18th.
So any program that the youth affairs has, the Department of Youth Affairs, I'm saying it correctly. Any program that the Department of Youth Affairs has, you can basically call 462-6781 to inquire.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right. And you can go on the Facebook page as well.
That's right.
Okay, all right. Any other program that we want to discuss on now? I have quite a bit going on there already.
I know I have my esteemed colleague here, so I'm not sure if he wants to chime in on his program at the moment. I know that registration is here.
Registration is here, registration not closed?
No?
Yes, Pastor Samuel.
Yeah, just
I
want
have to
to
talk to this one over there.
reiterate and to really emphasize about the youth leadership coming up on the 18th of March at the public library, Mondays and Fridays from 5:30 to 7:30. So please call the office 462-6781, or you could call as well 481-5302.
And it's how many weeks?
We roll over a period of let's say 8 weeks.
Okay, so that's 2 months.
Right. Yes.
Yes, all right.
Mondays and Fridays, 5:30 to 7:30 at the public library. Right. And I guarantee you, you will experience change. You will experience development. You will be informed and ready to move to the next level.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Samuels. You're leaving us? Oh,
I am.
Are you leaving? Oh, okay. Mr. George. Well, before I switch over, Mr. George, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listening audience before you leave?
No, just again to reiterate the importance of youth leadership. And we really believe that that's an important skill that every youth group needs. So,
Earlier, I was speaking to Dr. Green about his programs in the school, and he was saying, for example, the various groups. He mentioned, for example, that it's the steel band has an executive. Is the department positioned? I know you have your program that they will come to you, but is the department positioned, for example, to go and offer a cohort of this youth development program to groups such as those?
That's something that we can, definitely look at if a group is interested in that.
Okay. Right. I just wanted to know if that's something. So if, like, for example, Dr. Green is interested, he can call, and then you have, because they may not be able to come up to the program at the time that it's scheduled, but they could benefit potentially from one or two of the cohorts across the schools. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Daryl, I know where to find you and how to find you.
Yes, you do.
So we will be in touch. Thank you for reaching out.
Thanks for
having me. And it was a
having me.
pleasure having you. Dr. Samuel, you're leaving us too? Yes. All right. Thank you very much for coming to Dr. Samuel, and as usual, and it's a pleasure having you. All right. I don't know why you're leaving with this. I don't know why you're leaving with this man, but we'll see how that works out.
He's good, man.
Troy.
Yes, good afternoon.
Pull up your mic. Pull up your mic. You're not shy. Come, pull up your mic.
Good afternoon, Peter.
What am I doing wrong? Is he on? This is...
Yes.
Okay, Troy, talk again.
No. Yes, good afternoon.
All right. I was wondering because I know you have me here.
I don't hear any bell ringing.
Praise the Lord. What kind of bell you want to ring?
I believe if Mr. Brown was here, I would have been hearing a bell. It's not my first time on Point FM in terms of calling in, but it's my first time in studio. So I need to hear that bell, please.
Well, I don't know where the bell is, so
I don't know. Right there.
I don't.
The
Hello. No bell. No
right
bell
there.
ring on my program.
The bell is right there.
Tabitha, no
Mr.
bell.
Green.
Tabitha, no
Yes,
bell.
yes.
Let me show you a bell now. I even say I don't want a bell in one program. This is a calling show. Drama. But hey, look, I'm vexed. Show the bell. I'm just vexed. See how quickly me get rid of you. And the Tabitha, you notice now?
Yes.
Should I bring me now water?
Should I
I may use pencil and not pen.
Oh, boy.
And you just start about bell and she flying here.
But you said you are
Come
not
back.
Mr. Brown.
Okay, no.
So how can you get that kind of treatment?
Me don't want to. No. You're missing it. I don't want that kind of treatment.
You don't wanna-
Everything can't have the same thing. Everything has to
That's
be
right.
unique and
So
distinct.
your treatment is pen, is pencil.
No, my treatment is pen and paper. I can't fire her. I'm gonna stick it. Come, Troy. Let's talk.
yes,
So,
yes.
you work at the Department of Youth Affairs. Yes.
Yes.
How has it been at the Department of Youth Affairs? How long have you been there now?
My 4th year.
This is your 4th year. And how has it? How have you gelled with the staff that you've met at the department?
Well, you see, basically, I am coming from more or less a different area than all of the other staff there.
Coming from a different area.
In terms of my route is in teaching.
Okay.
And so there are certain things that, I would do my way as a teacher. And of course, there are things that the
But
department...
teaching is teaching. The department is about engaging young people. So.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know, but the area in which I really focus on...
No, I'm not talking about your area of
Yes,
focus.
I know.
I'm talking in general about, because one of the things, I'm sorry Daryl left before I
Yes.
could ask this. I wanted to ask. To me, in the department such as Youth Affairs, it's important that the team gels
Gel
and,
together.
and supports each other in their
Yes.
work. And I
Okay.
know you're almost like the baby in there in terms of
Yes,
years.
yes,
Right.
yes.
So I wanted to know, how has
Yeah.
that gelling been?
Well, you see, basically, when you're coming from an area in terms of teaching, it's
so damn
easy.
back on this
Yeah,
teaching.
it's easy to
you're
gel.
a human being first before you
Yes,
teach.
yes. But we learn in teaching that we have to adapt, and we have to anywhere that we go, that we move into any area, we have got to just work along with. Sometimes it may look as if we might be fighting against, but in fact that there are certain things that we would have been accustomed to in teaching. So that is what I actually bring. But all in all, I get along pretty well with the department, with the staff.
Excellent.
I am more or less the person who does most of the talking there. Again, coming from teaching.
I'll be surprised. Permit me a moment, Troy.
Yes.
Just to update the audience, just in case you're not following it, since you're listening to us. West Indies are 345 for 6. My Captain Cute Face is out and Captain Brathwaite is in. We need 9.49 runs per over to win the match. We're currently going at 8.19, so our guys need to... Oh, yeah, man. And Rashid to Brathwaite, 6. to me the wicked. All right, back to Troy.
Petra,
Troy,
they need to make you a sports ambassador.
What? Why would you sport?
I think that your contribution to sports in this country.
Hear this now. We're not talking about me. Never mind. We're not talking about me here. I just had to you have to rally around the team.
You have to be you. Yes.
So tell me, Troy, what is your role at the Department of Youth? And this is for ladies and gentlemen, I work along on a project with Troy, so I have to make sure he understands that while I may know some of it, this is for you, the audience, and so he has to be a fulsome in his explanations. Tell me your role, Troy, at the ministry.
Okay. If you would permit me, because I have to, in order for people to understand certain things, I have to go back from the genesis.
Yes, here comes Samantha Marshall. Hi, Sam. How are you?
On the 1st of July, 4 years ago, the Cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda, through the Honorable Samantha Marshall, appointed me to the Department of Youth Affairs.
Mm-hmm. In what capacity?
And they recognize my talents. And at that point in time, 4 years ago...
Trouble?
No. 4 years ago, in my view, the department could have used some additional help.
Okay, fair enough.
And so they thought that I was one of the individuals who will be able to put the department in a certain position.
Mm-hmm.
So I was appointed by the cabinet through the Honorable Samantha Marshall, and I was placed at the Department of Youth Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Honorable Samantha Marshall, I must give credit over and over, because every time I speak about the Honorable Samantha Marshall.
Wow.
Now, the Honorable Samantha Marshall called me shortly after I was appointed and tell me that she wants a program that will be able to reach our young people. And so for a few months, we went back and forth, sharing ideas, etc. And we came up with the Youth and Education Empowerment Program. For Honorable Samantha Marshall, it is what she would have called the Second Chance Program. Mm. And so originally, it was supposed to pilot 50 persons. After the large number of applications, the Honorable Samantha Marshall said to me that we have to increase it from 50 to 100 because of the large number. When we carried up to 100, there were lots of noise. And
when you say the program, what exactly happens in the program? When you designed it, what was the program designed to do?
Okay, the purpose of the Youth and Education Empowerment Program is basically to reach young people, and the young people out there who, for whatever reason, did not get to complete their secondary education. Mm-hmm. Two, who completed their secondary education but did not get the required number of subjects that they needed to either find a job. Some persons need certain subjects in order to get promotion. Mm-hmm. And so those are basically the two main areas, concerns at the beginning when the program was actually started. Mm-hmm. So the program went, in its initial stage, we moved from 50 to 100. And then after the Honorable Samantha Marshall recognized the large number of persons out there, she said, let's take it up to 175. And so for our first year, we started out with 175 persons. The second year...
So in that first year with 175 students...
Yes.
You had how many subjects?
We had only 5 subjects.
5 subjects.
I was teaching 3 of them. Yes. I was teaching English, economics, and social studies.
Okay.
And then I had Miss Sandy Matthew teaching mathematics. Mm-hmm. I had Mrs. Tiffany Strawn Peters teaching office administration. Miss Carlene Gregg teaching office administration. Mm-hmm. And we had Dr. Fitzmo Burns teaching mathematics.
All right.
Those were the original set of tutors.
So for that year, with that 175 students,
yes.
Can you recall the results that you had?
We had a 70% pass rate. Bearing in mind, classes are held once per week, and we don't get the quote-unquote cream of the crop. So when the other person, when CXC is a 3-year program.
I'm not so sure about you not getting the cream of the crop, but we will come back to that.
Yes. It is a 3-year program, so we do it within 1 year. or we did it within 1 year.
Okay.
Yes.
And just to go back to the students, because you said that the students come in.
Yes.
But I'm curious, and you said these were students who did not complete school or completed but didn't get the required number of subjects.
Yes.
Beyond that, the profile of the students, were they working? Were they unemployed?
The majority of them were not working. And those who were working were actually making more or less a small salary.
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
Okay.
Yes.
Were there? What about the breakdown gender-wise?
The gender, as is normal in our country, of course, the female would have outnumbered the males, and so if my memory serves me correctly, out of the 175 persons during the first year, we had only 50 males.
You know what I find interesting about that?
Yes.
And that's why I asked that question.
Yes.
I asked that question because you hear that, first of all, I don't know if you've ever studied our population trends.
Yes.
But there is not that large a gap between the number of males and females that are born.
Yes. Yes.
When they're in primary school, they're either, by the time you tally up across the schools, it's either practically equal in terms of the number of males or females, or the
10%
girls
or
might
so.
just edge out the boys a little.
True.
By the time you get to secondary school, there's a higher dropout. Don't I say higher, because the girls drop out too.
Yeah,
There's a higher dropout rate for the boys.
For the boys, yes.
Right. So one would presume that post-secondary school,
Yes.
that the persons would most likely be in need of, or would in need of, because
Yes.
need is not the right word. Who would most likely need to do
yes.
this program would be boys.
Boys, yes.
Or the males.
Yes, yes.
But we're still seeing that the program is dominated by females.
By females,
So
yes.
we're going to come back to where all boys are.
Yes.
So that was your first year. Tell
Yes.
your second year.
Okay.
You didn't disturb me until this first year. I'm so pleased.
Yes, I did it. Sorry. I
was in the first year too?
disturb you. You were basically, during that year, you came in
Just once in a while.
once in a while to deal with certain topics,
Fast.
a specific
This is
topic.
how we get into
Yes.
trouble. Clearly.
And you see, they always say,
Fast.
when the ant or find honey or sugar, the ant cannot move. And so you found sugar at the department.
No,
of
I
Youth
didn't.
Affairs.
I find stress. Try. But yes. So your
Yes.
second year.
Okay.
So you see so I was part of your first year session.
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
realize
yes,
it was so
yes.
long.
But you
it's so
were-
long idea.
Yeah.
Time to retire,
yes.
man.
No.
Time
You have
retire.
you have a long way to go. So there it is. So you are a part of history, because I must say this is the first program of this type in the entire Caribbean. Petra.
Okay.
Forever, your grandchildren will
Nobody
remember you.
gonna remember me.
Oh,
I remember.
the history is there.
Remember, I am just a
No, the
passing
history is
through, but
there.
This is not about me.
The history
so
is there.
the second year, you went from 175 to how many?
525. 500. You're talking almost. Help me with the math there. Almost 300% increase. Again.
And you increased the number of subjects as well.
Yes, the number of subjects increased from 5 to 8.
Okay.
Yes. And so Petra, again, another history. And all of this goes to the credit of the Honorable Samantha Marshall. Because of the fact that she truly loves the young people, she wants to see them move on. But what actually happens is that these young persons who are in secondary school, most of them never had the opportunity to choose the type of subjects that they wanted. They were more or less forced into areas. For example, a number of them said, I'm so happy, yes, I did CXC before, but this subject was not available to me because I was told too many persons were in there, so I had to do X, which they had no interest in.
Okay.
And yes.
So tell me, how do you? That was year 2.
Yes.
How many students are in the program today? 'Cause I wanna ask
Originally,
you other questions.
when we started out, we
For
had
2018.
2018. We
had
had
how much?
another huge jump, Petra.
Which was what?
Again, another history. From 175 to 525 to 1,315,
Try your Ulu.
making it the largest learning institution in Antigua and Barbuda.
Try your Ulu.
We're larger than the entire state college put together. We're larger than your school, Princess Margaret School. Yes. Again.
So where do all of these young people? Wait, how many subjects are you offering now?
Presently, we are offering 9 CXC subjects, and we are now offering 2 CAPE subjects.
You started the CAPE program.
We started the CAPE program last year. We started out with management of business, and this year we are adding another CAPE to that, which is entrepreneurship. We see both of them go hand in hand.
Okay.
Yes, and the Prime Minister speaks highly about entrepreneurship.
So who's teaching management of business now?
Oh yes, both A-level subjects are being taught by the very talented Dr. Rene Phillip.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. So tell me, where do you have classes? Because I know where I teach. Ladies and gentlemen, I teach a small class in this program. I wanted to say this is my last. I get to tell him this at the end. This is my last year.
No, you cannot.
Okay. Where do you have classes?
All right.
Because there's 1,000 people you tell me to try. I don't
Yes.
see 1,000 people when I'm up there.
Right. Okay. So because of that, the large number of students, of course, and this is one of the reasons why the Honorable Samantha Marshall have me there.
1 second, Troy.
Yes.
Hold your- I have to make note of that, and I will get back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, West Indies need 47 runs from 30 balls. The run rate required is 9.4. Carlos Brathwaite and Ashley Nurse are still at the wicket. Come on, guys. Give me a good night to go celebrate. Yes, go ahead.
Remember, you have class at 7 o'clock.
Oh, Jesus. Yes, Troy, I normally come to class.
Yes.
I'm going to go and left me.
Yes.
I'm with a different story. Yeah.
Back to where we were. The
Yes.
question was again?
The question was, where do you have classes?
All right. Now, again, this is one of the reasons why the Honorable Samantha Marshall have me at the Department of Youth Affairs. Because she knows once she gives me something to do, she doesn't have to look back.
Okay, I got bully rag.
All right. So here what? After we recognized we had so many persons on the program, creating history again. Of course, I am not afraid to beg. And so I started to beg. And guess who came to our rescue? Former Clerk to Parliament, Miss Ramona Small. So we have 2468, we have 10 classes in Parliament.
Good.
10 classes in
Oh,
Parliament.
you never carry my class over there.
Okay.
Nice place. I want to visit.
We have,
the night. Is it the night, right?
yes, we have approximately 22 classes at the Department of Youth Affairs. We have 2 classes at the Antigua Grammar School.
Okay.
And Dr. Rene Phillip, who is one of the tutors, she uses her learning center to accommodate a number of other classes. So in all, we have approximately 30 to 32 classes. And of course, some of the classes are very huge.
30 to 30.
Yes.
What is the retention rate? And I ask this because my class, I teach economics in the
Yes.
program, and my class started out this year. Last year it started huge, it stayed huge.
Yes.
Boy, last year was tight.
Yes.
But this year I noticed that we've had a hemorrhaging of sorts.
Yes.
What you started out with 1,350. Where are you now on average?
On an average, I think we are pretty close to that. We are still over 1,000. The problem is that a number of persons have found jobs since being on the program.
That's a good thing.
Yes. And that is something I want to come to shortly. They are now working. So sometimes it makes it difficult for them to be at class. So what I told them, that they need to get in contact with their tutors, inform them, collect the homework, do the assignments, and study. However, there is a small number of persons on the program who believe, again, that they do not have to come to class. They sign up, they come for a couple of weeks, the teacher give them their guidelines, and then they just want to show up on the day of exams. And so we are going to put some serious measures in place to stop that. Because at the end of the day, when they fail, it is going to reflect on us. And so we want, at this point in
And you
time,
not from me?
Right.
Me not take the reflection.
Right.
And I
So
don't feel
at-
economics, me not fight.
At this point, I want to encourage them we are just about 2 months away from CXC. So those who have been at home, we're going to ask them to come out to the classes because they need to be there.
Don't encourage them, Jack, please. Those, especially those of you, ladies and gentlemen, permit me. I know I'm the host, but and I have to say this about this program because I teach a class in the program, but I just teach a small. One class of you heard almost 35 classes, and Mr. Allen, I know there are lots of people who thinks that he goes over the top, but I can tell you from my experience, every night I have class, he's there. Anything I need, he supplies. Sometimes he supplies too much.
Thank you.
He now has a daycare.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, he now has a night care.
A night care. Sorry. Yes.
So
night
that
care.
the
working mothers,
and
single
fathers.
parents, and fathers.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes. Who have no one to take care of their children. They can bring their children there. We have a certified child care provider, and of course we have a small library. We have our little playpens, our cribs. We have games. We have computers with internet. And so even if the children have their homework to photocopy or whatever, of course, we do all of that there. So mothers and fathers.
Don't come to do economics, sign up for something else.
You don't have to worry about, you can't come to class anymore because you don't have anyone to look after your children. And of course, Petra, we have classes 7 days a week. I must commend you because I am so, what should I say, impressed. I never thought Petra would have given up cricket to come and teach on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Nah, happen again.
And I want to publicly commend you.
Last game there,
Yes.
up at the stadium, I teaching class. I never hear words of this in my life.
And I am hoping, I know you don't like this, but it's people like you should be recognized.
Can we move
for
on?
your contribution.
Okay, yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. One of the things I wanted to ask you
Yes.
about in terms of the program,
Mm-hmm.
what are the kinds of feedback that you get from your students in terms of, and I'm asking on twofold. One,
Mm-hmm.
I know that as a result of this program, a number of your students have gone on to higher education.
Yes.
All right, I see them at Abbott.
Yes.
I'm so proud.
University of the West Indies.
I've heard a few have gone. Right. So tell
Yes.
me, because these are now mature learners.
Yes.
They would have been in their late 20s, early 30s.
Yes.
And they would have gone on. First of all, how, from your interaction with them, how did they handle getting through the subjects?
Well, Petra, I must say, and I'm boasting, Yeep Learning Center has the most committed, dedicated tutors and minister. Let me tell you, Petra, anything that these students want, we provide for them. We are like mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, uncles,
Yeah, good on
aunts,
the-
etc.
good on the
And
rubbish.
I must say this, some of them, and a number of them have a lot of personal issues. And so because we care for them, we are able to interact with them on that level. They actually trust us. And so there are times we have to go into our pockets, and there are times where we ask for sponsorship, and there are times where I have to refer some of them to even the police. And so because of that, being really sincere about them moving on in life, they feel the need now to show appreciation. They are now doing everything in their power to be successful. And that is what happens when you have tutors and a minister who will do everything in their power to make sure that these persons are successful. So they love us. They love us. Can you remember that surprise birthday party you all had for me last year on the 3rd of June?
I don't know what you're talking about.
And the pictures are right on Facebook. So the viewers can go on my page on Facebook and see. And y'all gave me a big blue,
I don't know what you're
a
talking
big
about.
blue cake.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I have to share this experience because I mean, there are a number of tutors, and the students do appreciate all of the tutors. Personally, I can tell you that. But as I was saying earlier, Troy really, really sticks with the program and the young people. And
Thanks
not
to
so
the
young
Honorable
people.
Samantha Marshall.
And the not so young people. More so much time call Samantha name for the night. And so from time to time, they go out of their way to make him feel very special. So last June, they roped me in to getting Troy to the beach, and everything was going fine until the last minute. Troy decided he didn't feel good, he not come. Yeah, try, and look, but swimming a killie. Anyways, I finally cocked up some crap story.
That's
and
right.
He came with me.
That's right.
Because I wasn't going to keep him out long. So when Mr. Man reached down on the beach and see all kind of people, yeah, you and what I liked about it
Yes.
for me, which was touching, is that they went out of their way. They planned it. They in from their very limited resources. Everybody, because I already told them I am chipping in getting him there, and I'm not putting in nothing else. So you don't get what. Poor Samantha had to go. Sam, I feel for you.
Yes.
And they got everything in place and
Music,
had
food.
Troy a most wonderful. And
Yes.
for me, watching because let me tell you, in Antigua people I know at up.
Yeah.
I don't love to say thank you.
Thank you. That is
And
right.
I find that the fact that these young people are consistently able to say thank you, and let me tell you, it is not easy. He says 1,350. I
Yes.
teach in the program every Wednesday, and when I leave here, I go to teach, and sometimes I'm drained and tired, and
But you still
but
come.
you still make the effort. Why? Because they are there. They are committed.
Yes.
I think it's an excellent initiative from the Department of
Yes.
Youth Affairs. But I know, I'm not going to continue blowing this on because I know Troy has more in store for
Yes.
us. But before that, I just want you to share with us what were your results like last year?
Last year, we moved from a 70% to a 73%.
You moved
pass rate.
up?
Moved up. However,
Yeah, go up.
we want to bear in mind, in every education circle, there is an uptime
Yes, of
and there is a
course.
downtime. And I
Not yet.
remember
You're sending us a
one
message?
time, no. I remember time ago because the director of education had to go on national television to inform the persons that when we look at success, we don't necessarily look at
Troy, West Indies last time wicket. Carry on.
what? Okay.
When we look at
we
success.
don't necessarily look at whether the person get a 1, 2, or 3. But truly, success is you being able to take somebody from point A to point B.
Agreed.
And sometimes those who fail and get a 4 is more important than that person who gets
Who got
a
the
1.
one? Yes. And not only
Because they
that,
had nothing. And do you know, in some Caribbean countries, they accept a grade 4 to work in the government sector. Before grade 3 was accepted, Guyana was already accepting grade 3 in the workforce. And I totally agree with that. Because a grade 4 does not indicate that you know nothing. If you look at the profile on CXC, it tells you that you have some kind of a working knowledge of the subject. It might not have been enough for you to go on to further studies at this time, but you have gained some knowledge, and I think it is quite unfair. And I'm going to put this question now before the government of Antigua and
Well, this is not
Barbuda,
before me. I'm happy.
to consider not that you are lowering your standard, but for those persons who are, as a matter of fact, before I continue, right in Antigua, when a grade 3 was not a pass, the Public Service Commission, because the principal assistant secretary, she and I were very close. She ended up being our permanent secretary, Beulah May Charles. The Public Service Commission at one time, if you're applying for a job, a junior clerk, you are required to have 3 subjects, English and 2 others. The minimum 3 subjects, English and 2 others. However, if you have English and 1 subject, which is 2, and you have 2 subjects being grade 3, they used to consider the 2 grade 3 as 1 and accept you. Yes. So I think that the grade 4, not that you are lowering your standard, but we have what we call slow learners. We have what we call low achievers. And so somebody who is not as bright as Petra, coming out of school, officially passing maybe only 2 subjects with grade 1, 2, and 3, but have all the other subjects at grade 4. What are we going to cry down that individual person? No.
I think for me, what I would want to focus on coming out to this
Yes.
thing is that even where the students would not have done as well as
Yes.
they would have hoped and we would have liked, that they would have, many of them get a new ethos of discipline
Yes,
and
yes.
commitment.
Yes.
And so you would note, I think one of the outputs that I like to see is that they get jobs. They would even apply for jobs they would not have ever considered.
Oh, yes.
applying
Petra,
for before.
I want to let you know that after the program, some persons were promoted.
Right. So there
Some-
you go.
yes.
So I think that's one of the major. I know persons look at the subject value,
Yes.
but I also
Petra, be just before you continue,
Try
I want
all
to
those.
commend you.
I'll continue.
Yes.
Commend me for
I
again
want to
now.
commend you.
I do not
You
again.
know, anyone who has studied economics, they will tell you economics is not an easy subject to pass. Petra, within a couple months, persons who never did economics getting grade 1 for economics.
Hey, that girl was brilliant. She
Petra,
was easy.
yeah, Petra, I want to commend you. And
Hey.
that is just to show you, to show people that it's not where you are coming from. You can come from the worst family, the poorest family. If you are determined to make it in life, you will. And I'm hoping that this year,
I should have at least 3.
okay, I am
3
looking
to
forward. I'm looking
I'll
forward.
afford one day if he don't stress me out too much.
Yes,
But
so I'm really looking forward, Petra. I'm very passionate about the program.
we know
Registration starts on Monday
for the new cohort.
for the new Monday the 4th of March to the 30th of April.
The 4th of March
To the 30th of April.
to the 30th of April.
What
One
do
can
these
register.
students need
Do
to?
we have more people left back again that need to be a part of this program? Sure, you took out 1,000,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
13, 15, and 525.
Yes,
You don't have any more people left back in Antigua that need to do this program. Come on.
plenty. There are plenty persons in Antigua. And hear what? The Prime Minister is very pleased with the program because persons who do exceptionally well,
Yes, he gives
they
us
go
cash.
on to the Prime Minister's scholarship. And you spoke about a number of persons studying at the University of the West Indies and
Hospitality Institute
hospitality
and
training
Abbott.
and Abbott. Okay, so great news.
What more scholarships?
Cabinet, through the Honorable Samantha Marshall, has approved the expansion upstairs.
Of your building?
Yeah, Petra,
and feet.
this program is so big. We are now officially a CXC Learning Center.
What does that mean?
We are now the only thing that separates us from, is it Abyss? Abyss, right? The only thing that separates us from Abyss is that Abyss is in its own building. The same rights. We do our exams right there. And so the only thing that is left.
But do you have enough space though?
Yeah, we have the space. We have the space. We have the space. Mr. B.T. Lewis was supposed to come.
No,
and
I
do-
mean you have the space once they've done the construction.
Yes.
But I know you're a learning center now.
Yes.
But do you have the space to accommodate your students writing the exams there?
No, so there are some arrangements that I've already put in place just for this year.
Yes, sir.
Just for this year.
Right, sir.
But hopefully from next year, we should have that physical space for the students.
You mean I leaving now, things turning up?
No, you are not learning. You are not leaving. And I must tell Antigua and Barbuda that Petra, I offered to pay Petra a stipend. And Petra refused.
It's not that I rich, Jack.
You refuse.
What do people think I rich?
So I'm coming to beg you for a loan. Because
No,
you
no,
refuse
no, 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 no.
the government stipend.
Ladies and gentlemen, before Troy gives the wrong impression, all right? I consider that if those persons are willing to do the program, and I said I would give 3 years, this is year 3. This is year
You see,
3.
you have another year because
would give-
one of the year wasn't really a full year. So you have to go over, like in with the politicians, you have to go to get full pension two terms plus one.
I don't need a full pension. That's the beauty of what I do. I promised that I would give of my time
Yes.
to ensure that the young, because it's a mixed bag. I
Yes,
people older
yes,
than me,
yes.
and so on. But I promise I'd give 3 years of my time,
Yes.
to my nation.
Yeah, and I
it's
really
easy-
appreciate
it's
it. And
easy sell.
Petra,
So it's not that I'm rich.
do you
Trust
know
me,
what is
I need to
outstanding?
have things. Well,
that most of the persons
oh, you're lucky. Me,
come from what we call in Antigua the quote-unquote ghettos.
really?
We have a lot of people from Pointonville up there. A lot of people from Golden Grove,
They're
from
not
Grace
doing-
Farm.
They're not doing economics.
And of course,
No, I don't have any
I
people
also
in my
want
class,
to
nothing.
big up people like Canto George.
Oh, that's my baby.
Yes,
Hi,
Canto. You know, Canto doing okay at Abbott now. But Petra, there are a number of persons who would have contributed to the success of this program.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I forever say thank you.
Yes.
Because as you say, Antiguans don't like to say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new family, Petra. Without this family, nothing can happen. And I speak to my tutor, my non-paid tutor, the Accountant General, Dr. Cleopatra Gittins, and the entire team from Treasury Department. Mrs. Donabet Coffey, Mrs. The names are going.
Praise
Mrs.
The Treasury staff.
The
that work
Treasury
with Troy.
staff, Miss Richards, Aisha, you name it, the Deputy Accountant General, you name it, Miss Bailey.
And I must be afraid when you're coming Treasury.
I
boss.
mean, I feel a part of the Treasury family. And because Dr. Gittins loves young people so much, she ensures that the...
Hold on, I haven't seen Dr. Gittins for the year now. I got
No,
to call
she's
her
coming.
up.
No, she when it get closer to the exam.
Yes, that's when.
So she will be expecting... So I'm sorry that I have to say this on the radio. But she'll be getting a call shortly. And she normally helps out in 2 areas. Mathematics, yes, and economics.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I get to take a break.
No. But Petra, I want to thank them. I want to say thank you to Mrs. Small from the Parliament. I want to say to my tutor, Dr. Renee Phillip, because although she hasn't charged us for the use of her building,
facility.
and that is commendable. I want to say thank you to the principal of the Antigua Grammar School for allowing us to have our EDPM classes over there. And I can tell you, Petra, I'm going to put out what I call my begging rights out there. I do need some computers, whether it be desktop or laptop. Our EDPM program is oversubscribed and we don't have computers enough. And so you can contact me at 734-5169 or you can call the Honorable Samantha Marshall at 562-8285 or, of course, you can get in contact with Petra and said, look, give this 10 computers,
you can call
20
the Department
computers,
of Youth Affairs. Please, I have their number.
and then get them. Yes. My office number is 562-9367. But Petra, I did not give you what individuals need to come and register.
Yes.
You need to have your birth paper and a copy of it. Note I say and a copy. You need to have a government issued ID and a copy of it. And if you have done CXC or CAPE before, a copy and the original. Okay? If you can't find it, no problem. But we just want to there is a specific reason for that. Yes, somebody would have done something 15 years ago, and you're asking, why do we need that still? The point is, remember, it doesn't just stay at youth affairs. Persons will go on to the Prime Minister's Scholarship. So we need to know, you might have been doing well in economics.
Turn the mic.
You might have been doing well in economics. But how can I afford your scholarship if I don't know your qualifications? So I need to know the amount of subjects you have. So when I'm going to offer a scholarship, I know, okay, then this person is qualified, this person will get through with the application, etc. So that is the reason. And they can go to our head office, the Honorable Samantha Marshall's office, and they can register there as well. So you can come to the Department of Youth Affairs, that is within the Prime Minister's office compound, and you can go to our headquarters and register, go directly to the Minister's Secretariat, and application forms are there. You'll be able to register as of Monday. The registration time from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So Petra,
You don't have any excuse.
you don't have an excuse.
Right.
Petra, you're working in the morning, You go to work. You don't have to come up there in the morning. You finish working at 4:35, and you know I am on the night shift, so I will be there until. Okay.
What numbers are you looking for this registration period?
To be
do you
honest,
have a cap?
To be honest,
Because you need
Petra,
to cap.
Yes. To be honest, because we are having approximately 255 persons writing CXC this year.
Of the 1,000,
Yes.
255 writing.
About 255.
So you only have about 255 spaces to replace.
Yes. And but I can tell you, the Honorable Samantha Marshall doesn't want to turn away anybody.
But you don't have
So
those
I
spaces.
believe, knowing the kind of woman she is, I believe she's going to be knocking. As a matter of fact, she's a bit under the weather. Did they have cabinet?
No.
Today's Wednesday. Okay. I believe next week, Wednesday, that the Honorable Samantha Marshall will be knocking on cabinet's door. Say, Mr. Prime Minister, I need an extra $1 million.
The budget just
And
passed.
knowing the Prime Minister, I guarantee you, he's going to say, no problem, Sam.
All right. So here are my questions.
Yes.
You have the A-levels program.
Yes.
Right. How many students you have in that now?
Presently, we have approximately 22 students.
And they will be writing their
first
exams.
management of business this year.
And entrepreneurship this year.
No, they will be writing their exams in management of business this year.
Right.
But we are taking on entrepreneurship
Oh, from
this
cohort.
year,
Okay.
from this
All right,
August.
that's
yes.
one. Okay.
Yes.
I know that in the youth, the other program,
Yes.
you have some of the programs are now 2 years versus
Yes.
1 year.
Yes.
Because I realized if you have 225 writing, that means the majority are doing it 2 years.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Now,
And this is like our last question because we're just about out of time. So
Yes.
answer this, and if there's anything else you wanna add.
basically, we don't want to waste government resources. 1. 2,
So that means persons need to understand that not
Yes.
only do the government pay for the tutors
but they pay for the
and
safety
provide the
subjects.
facility, but they also
Yeah.
pay for the subjects.
Yes.
Okay.
This year, Peter, and you know this, we have been overburdened in terms of finding papers, etc., resources to actually teach. And so we'll be charging this year a small registration fee for those who can afford it. $50 registration fee. However, the $50 fee will not be charged until you have been accepted. So still come up, apply. And once you are accepted, and this will go towards buying papers, markers that you use so often, and other toilet
Speaking of which, I
paper.
need to today.
And okay, toilet paper, etc. Peter, can you imagine the amount of toilet paper that we use at youth affairs? Having 1,350 students passing through there every week.
Well,
Just to have an idea, go into one of the secondary schools with 600-700 students and ask them how many toilet paper per
I
week.
think just ask PM. It's okay.
Okay,
I don't need to
etc.
ask
Good,
anybody
excellent.
else. What would you like to say to the listening audience in terms of the value that this program brings for the community?
I want people to appreciate what the Honorable Samantha Marshall and the government of Antigua and Barbuda is doing. There is no Caribbean country in the world. Well, no Caribbean country
Let's just say there's no Caribbean country. Yes, go ahead.
where the government is doing all of this. And so here you have an opportunity that you missed for whatever reasons. And Peter, we don't care what the reason was. Grab on to the opportunity. You have an opportunity once again to become a lawyer, a doctor, a politician, a magistrate, a teacher. Grab on to this opportunity. As a matter of
I don't
fact,
know why you only stick
I
to those
have
professions.
persons who came in with 0 subjects, and today some of them are teaching, have 6 and 7 subjects. Within 2 years,
Yes, that is true.
within 2 years, they have achieved a lot. And so I want to encourage the people to grab this up. As a matter of fact, this program is so international that I have received calls from all the way in the United States of America. People want to partner with us.
Oh, excellent.
I just received a
send
call.
you can send me up to
I
next
just
floor.
received a call from Trinidad and Tobago. I don't
You
know
can go through
if
that
you
tomorrow?
I don't know if you watch my Facebook page,
I can leave for Trinidad tomorrow.
but
I'll be back.
I
on
will be
Thursday.
working I will be working on a project. I can't say too much at this time.
Try, hear me out.
But this
I can
program,
go to Trinidad tomorrow. Tell them send a ticket. I'll go represent you. I can go to Trinidad tomorrow.
you deserve it. You
and I'll
deserve
be back
it.
next Wednesday.
You deserve it.
Next Wednesday? Thursday. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. But you will first of all have to get the approval from your minister.
Whatever. Yes. So moving right along.
Yes.
As I was saying, now we are just about out of time.
Yes.
So I would like to thank you for coming in, Troy.
No problem.
And sharing on the youth education and empowerment program. Did I say
Now,
it right?
now Yeep Learning Center.
Right, Yeep Learning Center.
Yes.
The more popularly known as
the second chance,
program.
and that is how the Honorable Samantha Marshall wants it, because Petra.
Wait, hold on. No, I have to stop you because we're
Yes.
really out of time. So just
Yes.
allow me to wrap up, please. I want to thank you for coming in. It's been a very interesting and engaging discussion. And
Yes.
just to remind folks that the registration begins on March the 4th, which is
Monday.
next week.
Yeah.
And it ends on the 3rd of April.
30th.
Oh, jeez. The 30th of April.
So
March.
30th of April.
30th of April. So you
Yeah.
just about have 2 months to
However,
go and register. But
do
you
not
know,
wait until
yes,
because
spaces are limited.
there are hundreds of persons who have already called.
Right, and space is limited.
That's right.
And we were also speaking with the youth leadership program, also from the Ministry of Youth Affairs, where they're hosting a youth leadership program, which will be 8 weeks at the public library, Mondays and Fridays from 5:30 to 7:30, and registration is ongoing. You can call the department. There's also a youth literacy program which targets the primary and secondary students who need some additional assistance. That is on offer at the T.N. Kernan School. You can also call about that. And prior to that, we had Dr. Colin Green from the Princess Margaret School talking about the school's creative arts program concert. Thank you for the music. Thank you for the music. I wanted to sing that line from ABBA.
Do I have some closing remarks?
No, I'm done with you. Well, you can sit down and keep me company. Give me 1 second.
I want to say thank.
Wait. I'm not finished yet. The Princess Margaret School's program, which is on the Sunday, the 10th of March. It begins at 6 p.m. and the admission is $35 for adults, $15 for students. So that was our program today. We spoke to the principal of Princess Margaret School about the Creative Arts concert that's coming up. Thank you for the music at the Dean William Lake Center. You can visit the school's Facebook page for details. Tickets are now on sale. You can call the Department of Youth Affairs for all their initiatives, the Young Leadership Program, the Literacy Program, the YEEP Second Chance Learning Program. And we just want you to remain engaged. Look out for our young people. They are our most important, valued, and prized assets, and we really need to invest in our people. I also want to remind you that we showed the YouTube video of the Empress Divine, young lady from Antigua, singing a very interesting reggae style music that has over 1 million hits on YouTube, which is doing phenomenally well. And I would like to thank all of you for tuning in, whether via Facebook or via radio, to We're the Ones, where we discuss varying views, varying topics, because remember, without us, there is no country, there is no community, there is no people, there is no society, there is no family. And so on We're the Ones, we discuss issues that touch all of us in various ways. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Petra Williams signing out. Have a good evening. And that's it.
That's it.